Is April 23rd, 2026. This last week I was in Walmart 62. I heard an investigator talking, said, I went to that orthopedic surgeon years ago, probably 18 when the case started, asked him why she couldn't walk before. And said, well, it was an easy fix. He had to just give her braces to hold her knees in place and canes to stabilize her, so she was secure walking till she rebuilt up the muscles and tendons in her legs and back. Hers was an easy fix. We're going to put it this way, you also had to keep draining the fluid out from underneath my knees. And then I got to thinking last night, I remember that doctor saying that. I remember it. I went in and I was getting my knees drained. Like every month to every other month. I had so much fluid building up on my body and under my knees, and it would pop my knees out of place. He said, Karen, you've got a degenerative joint disease in your knee. He said, most of the time with that, what I will do is do a total knee replacement. He said, but you've got so many things wrong with you right now. And what I worry about, what if that arthritis spreads? If it gets into your regular bones and I do a knee replacement, that hardware will shatter that bone and you'll never be able to walk again. He said the easiest fix we can do is I can put braces on your knees. He said it'll hold the knee in place and I'll get a big enough ones and sturdy enough ones your knee won't move. So you'll be secure when you walk. And he said, I'd prefer you use to walk a walker when you learn to walk. I said, I'd rather use canes because it gives me the feeling of walking, not just pulling myself. He said, well, we can try, but if you fall with the canes, you're going to have to go to a walker. He said, till you learn to walk again. And once you learn to walk again and you retighten up all those muscles and tendons, get tight around your knee, it'll hold your knee in place. But once you get well, you'll always have to get out and walk and exercise, because if not, the muscle tissue will break down and your knees will start popping out of place again. And the only thing that's going to be really holding everything together is the strength of the muscles around the knees. See, I remember that conversation. See, that's where I always told everybody, I always kept going out walking all the time because I never wanted to get sick again. I was always exercising. And see, yesterday, by the way, the great retard of all was in Wendy's, North Canton. I go in. After I seen her run on the treadmill for a couple minutes, I knew she was never sick before. That was 23 years ago, bitch. Oh, great retard. Oh, great retard. Oh, great retard. Oh, great retard. Of all, the greatest retard of all. It was 23 years ago. Yes, it was sick. I told you how I had the 6 to 10 surgeries with kidney surgeries and the endometriosis, the appendix out, the gallbladder, the repairing of cysts bursting inside my stomach, to 2 parts of the hysterectomy to make a full one, to scar tissue, to stents being put in and out of my kidney, and then a 5-inch scar at my back, and being cut side to side across my stomach. My muscles clenched. 2.5 years, 6 to 10 surgeries. My muscles clenched. Then I was in so much pain, I went to a bunch of crackpots, and they falsely diagnosed me, gave me a bunch of wrong meds, and my whole body swelled up. I had seizures, I had heart attacks, thyroid, adrenal gland quit working. They were lying so bad they said I had level 2 pituitary tumors. And in the meantime, I said, Meantime, I went to like orthopedic doctors. My knees are popping out of place. They were having, that orthopedic surgeon was draining turkey-based syringes of fluid out from underneath my knee. And he's the one that, oh my God, I was in his office. He put a needle in that long in my knee to get in the middle of the joint to drain it. And it numbed me. I screamed. He called me a baby. I looked at him. I said, why don't you give me that needle and I'll jab it in your knee? We'll see who's a baby. And the nurse was standing there giggling. He finished draining it, put the steroids in, and then walked out. She said, nobody's ever talked to him like that. I said, maybe they should. Jab a 3 or 4 inch needle into somebody's joint and not numb it. It was excruciating. And I had to go through that first every month, then it was every other month, to keep that fluid buildup off my knee so my knee wouldn't slide out of place. And so where the idiots, like, where I seen her run on the treadmill for 2 or 3 minutes, I knew she was never sick. That was 23 years ago, bitch. Yes, I was sick. And it took 9 months of getting well, where my community health, you know what's sad? With that doctor there being corrupt now, I always credit that place for saving my life. Brag to everyone that that office saved my life. That they told me that it was the doctors making me sick and they were defrauding me and got me off that medicine. And I went to another doctor, got on pain medicine, and worked with him, and over 9 months got well. Or I would have died from medical malpractice. And I credited me being alive to them. Bragged all over them, the people. And so that idiot that's working there now, oh, by the way, I did turn him in for HIPAA, him and his nurse. I'm not done turning him in either. And not only have I told the police, I will tell the FBI. I've already told the CIA. I've told ICE. See, there's Muslims involved from Iraq. The Texas group, the Kingsmen from Texas. There's other foreign nationals. Like they said before, there's so many foreign nationals in her FBI case. Oh, even a retired CIA agent. The CIA is even involved because there's foreign nationals. Carrying around the house, Karen's will, the little threat and attempt to lie case went into the drug cartel, which led into the human traffickers. They were even talking about in Carrollton, March 7th, was it 17th, this last month? That her little case actually led into big drug dealers' arrest. Oh, it ran into the cartel. See, and then this guy, Will, that's supposed to be doing it, that had to pay the heavyset 350-pound Michelle and Lauren from Judge Peters' group from Florida, bragged in 19. He was stealing for them, and he had to pay them to date him. Told everybody. And, I mean, they were not shy about that. This man had to pay those prostitutes. They're running with the big truck guys that said that they were human traffickers. And they were selling people, they were riding with them. By 23, one of them had lost a lot of weight, was up in Akron, bragging that he was stealing for them and he had to pay them to date him. And then she's lost more weight. They have bragged he had to pay for plastic surgery, including a nose drop. He's having to pay the Barbie doll, this prostitute. You know, back in 23 in North Canton, they said, we found out that ass is stealing from the case to pay for prostitutes. No one's to say a word. We heard he's even paying for gay male prostitutes. I started giggling on that one. But he's got a problem with prostitutes, and he has to pay for them. I know the prostitutes have been bragging. You know, there's a STD called syphilis. It makes you loony. That it makes you have irrational thoughts. Like he could actually do this. Makes you feel more godlike. And more... makes you psycho. It's called syphilis. You get it from prostitutes. But getting back to when I was sick, it took me 9 months. Dr. Eli agreed it was medication causing everything. It was it took me fucking 9 months to learn to walk again. A numb beam as the swelling slowly went down and everything started working again. They almost killed me. Those doctors, if I would have sued them, they would have been in jail a long time. You know, these people laughed at me. They paid off a doctor from before the write-up. She was insane. Mental illness and mental insanity is not curable. You can't say somebody has something like that and they're fine. Then half my medical records are Dave's girlfriend. That March 27th, 25, they got out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory and she could use my insurance. It wasn't random, the lady running up medical bills in my name and get stuck in me with copays. Because she didn't have show ID back then. It was deliberate identity theft between Dave and his girlfriend, defrauding me. And half my medical records for 15 years are them. See, these people, that's where I told you, that guy probably does have syphilis at the very least. Because the guy doing this is so crazy where that guy said, when I watched her run on the treadmill, I knew she was never sick before. Where did you get that retard? Oh, great retard. I found out her knee popped out of place twice this month. Well, that's why I'm not walking again. Trying to build up the muscles and the tendons so it don't happen. That's where I always told people I always have to get out and walk all the time. So I never get sick again. I have to keep my muscles built up in my legs. That's why Dave and I used to go walk a couple miles every week. We always walk. Because I never wanted to get sick again. So don't you think you ought to get your facts straight? Oh, great retard. Oh, great retard. See where that agent said he already talked to that orthopedic surgeon years ago? Probably 18. I already told him that. I probably told him the rest of him when I remembered what he said. I remember sitting there. He couldn't do any replacement. He was afraid that arthritis would go into my regular bones. And then it would just shatter my leg and I would never be able to walk again. And the easiest and the safest fix is to put braces while you build up your muscles and tendons around your knee. And once they're built up enough, your knee won't slide out of place. And then you can walk without the braces or canes. But you'll always have to exercise. Always have to get out walking because when the muscles degrade enough, the knee will start popping out of place again. So you knew that. Oh, great retard. Oh, great idiot. So you get your facts straight. And see, that's where people think it's funny yelling stuff. Oh, they paid the doctors to write all this fraud up before. See, that's where the investigators were afraid they paid off those doctors to almost kill me. And like they said, with all that massive body swelling, seizures, heart attacks, and everything shutting down, and it took another doctor telling them it was medication killing her, there's no way they didn't know they weren't killing her. See, they were afraid. They were in it with them. And it was actually premeditated attempt to murder. See, you can't say somebody has mental illness and they're fine. You can't say, like they said, the only way somebody can be mentally ill and then they're fine is drug-induced psychosis. Somebody, like when you're on LSD and you're tripping out, or some kind of other psychotic drug. That's the only way, because it's not curable. Your brain's damaged. Your brain is damaged. Just like you can't say somebody has epilepsy and then you give them medicine and causes seizures. My God. You tell them they have lupus, MS, and all this other crazy stuff. The only thing that's wrong with them is their muscles clenched from all the surgeries. And you gave them medicine that causes massive body swelling, seizures, heart attacks, thyroid, adrenal gland shutdown, and the person is dying from medical malpractice. If I would have sued them, I would have been a multimillionaire. That's why a lot of times when I go in Altman Hospital, people will say that's the one the hospital made a lot of mistakes. And they're grateful she never sued anyone. Hmm? Or if I'm in the radiology, that's the one that hospital made a lot of mistakes. Nobody's allowed to say a word to her. No, because they're grateful. They didn't get shot down for fraud. Get the idea? Then half my medical records are Dave's girlfriends. And it's not even funny, people yelling stuff like that at me. And then it's not even curable. You can't say somebody has something incurable and they're fine. The only thing is wrong is their muscles clench from having so many surgeries. And you caused everything else. That makes you liable. So when I'm out walking around, and yesterday, I told you, Walmart 62 was a hotbed. I walk in, that religious group that has us watching, she better stay covered up. Fuck you. Fuck you. I ordered some sundresses, and some of them that show your tummy. You want to keep it up? I'll wear shorts and a halter top. See, we live in the United States of America. Muslims and apostolics don't own our country. We can dress however we are. You just have to cover your front of your chest and your front. Private area. Because what are they going to do? Get away with? They're going to ban gymnastics. They're going to ban swimming, bathing suits, bikinis, shorts, tank tops. We're all going to have to wear a hijab and a long black dress, or our hair up in a bun and our long skirts, and no sleeveless shirts. We're all going to go radical and join the cults. I don't think so. Those demon-possessed people, it takes a special kind of evil and a special kind of Satan-possessed people that hurt people and try to profit off of them. It takes a special kind of satanic devil that is pure evil that victimizes somebody, has their skull bashed in, has them raped and tortured, has them drugged for fake confessions, photoshopped and framed, and then try to steal from the government and come up with a ridiculous doctor breaking HIPAA and find out it's Dave's girlfriend's dad, and you've never met these rapists. See, that's where you think about it. It was rapist that did this. Some guy named Will cannot go around breaking in private homes, setting up body cameras, nor did he get special permission by the police. They didn't know about it, even like they said. Even the FBI go to jail for being in your home outside that protected custody case with statements in a court order. You don't get special permission, retard, to be a pervert. It's illegal monitoring, voyeurism, cyberstalking, wiretapping, retard. That syphilis getting to your brain till you don't know what's right and wrong? That STD? And have his men break in, hide, jab me with hypnotic drugs. They work in almost 45 seconds. You're sleepwalking. Dangers of using them. You can cook, you can clean, you can drive your car, you can have sex. It's a perfect date rape drug. Told you they used it on a U.S. Marshals kid twice. My coworker Dar and my neighbor Mike. Nobody knew what happened to them that night, and they were up walking around talking to people. Everybody's heard of a roofie. It's a different kind. It works faster with no memory. Drug somebody up and tell them to say stuff, saying, we have the right to drug her to get the truth out of her, where they're drugging you up and telling you to say stuff. Nobody has the right to drug you. It's that syphilis getting to your brain, right? We photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. Psychos in their stocking tails. But we're going to get money out of this. You're psycho. You don't get a dime. Not a fucking dime. Just like Melissa's Mean Games of Pretend, where the people that said they work for the drug lord, Melissa was willing to help them out, get away with this. They announced it in Walmart. Want the feds' attention. They started following her. She's friends with Dave's girlfriend, the one that her family's in debt to drug dealers, September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. How this whole thing was her family's debt to drug dealers. And how they, on Thanksgiving of 18, that they wanted the house for that drug dealer's daughter and Papa. And then later on, they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. The police and the FBI call her out afterwards. Why are those kids making that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. January 12th, 22, 4:55 p.m. Officer John stopped in at the door. Will those kids get tape stating they made everything up? Massillon Police, June 23rd to July 4th of 21, told Mount Carmel, Illinois, they're documenting me games to pretend she never hurt anyone. The FBI told people, what was it, March 13th, 23, Walmart 62. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And some lady thought she could make money out of it. With some lady. An extortionist. And she would know, if she knew the law, you can't make money out of this. And you wouldn't be going up against the FBI for money from them because that's a federal crime. Bitch. Let's see. Flora told on Melissa's kids October 23rd, 2019. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. The apartment building for me second closest to the fence on North Chapel in Louisville. Lady and little girls lived there. Talked about me being drugged and told to say it before. And by 21, by August, when school started, they told them they made everything up. October 5th, 21 in Huntington Beach, they were talking about Melissa and her kids lying again. They were talking everywhere. Stark County sheriffs were laughing at some guy named Kurt for falling for their lies. And May of 21 called him slow. Just endless. January 1926, they were talking about Summit Mall. Like, you gotta think. They're mean jokes. Just sitting around, like they said, they ought to be ashamed sitting around laughing, making up stuff behind Erin's back. She's risking her life to get information on these people, trying to save everybody's life. And her family sitting around, laughing, making up stuff behind her back. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no police report. There's no pictures of injuries. No treatment for injuries because they're mean jokes. You don't have an attorney for mean jokes. Like yesterday in Walmart, we heard the FBI and police taped Melissa and her kids. Saying they were lying years ago. Nobody ever got hurt. Yeah, they announced they taped them lying right after Thanksgiving of 18. Then repeatedly in there. And like Officer Mark said, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I'd hate to arrest her. Kids are little. Why don't we just write it up? They were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend. They wrote up as documented me jokes. That's all they wrote up as. You don't get money for mean jokes. Nor do you get money for stabbing somebody with a date rape drug, pulling a bitch move. As they walk by in their home and beat and rape that victim. Then you have to, see, that's where I had a dog bite attorney, personal injury attorney. She said it don't matter if it's a dog bite or it's a personal injury. You have to have so much just to even open a case. You have to prove you were hurt. You have to go to the hospital. You have to have proof of injuries. You have to have pictures of injuries. You have to have a police report, a police investigation. And with your case, because it's a dog, you had to have dog warning. You have to have treatment for those injuries. Do you have that? Yes. Now you've proved you're injured, because otherwise you can't just say it. Can't just say it. You have to prove it. And then you have to prove responsibility. I got a witness. You can't just have a witness. Pay witnesses off. You have to have physical evidence. And I said, well, where the dog latched onto my arm will let go. I have not only the perfect imprint of its teeth in my arm where it bit through my coat, I have its slobber, I have its DNA on my coat. She said, now you got a case. You don't have all that, you have nothing. So all they have is a roofie. A roofie. Oh, well, we had John verify it. John didn't verify it. Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked him what's going on, he didn't know. His ex-wife would just have the kids make up something because of the divorce, and that he told them I was moving out, going through a divorce, and she'd just have the kids make up something, and the church people too. But don't worry about it, Mom. Nobody can say anything bad about you. He's the one, a year or two later, when Melissa snuck in his house and hid while he's in the bathroom. He didn't even know she was there. Lunged at him, screaming. He shoved her, being startled. Now I got you. Had him arrested for domestic violence. That's breaking and entering. You don't realize that's breaking and entering. Ohio's a stand your ground law. You can't just startle somebody and they shove you and you have them arrested. It's ridiculous. He had him arrested. Lost his kids. Tried to get him back a year later. Called me up, Mom, I need you to be a reliable name on a court record to watch my kids. I said, John, I don't get off my first job, let alone a second one. I barely make it now. But Mom, these are my kids. I'll lose them forever. I said, John, I'm so sorry. I'll lose my apartment. One of my jobs only made $10 an hour. I barely make it now. I didn't even tell him I only made $10 an hour at one job. I just told him I could barely make it. I said, you don't understand. I'd barely make it now. And he's pleading, but these are my kids, Mom. I said, John, won't have a place to live. I am sorry. I don't get off the first job, let alone the second one, and I won't be able to keep my apartment. He ended up losing his kids. Moved to Florida years ago. He got remarried. Looks really happy. Started his own church. He's been in Florida hell would freeze over before he'd help Melissa. And he wasn't part of having his mother drug beat and raped. None of my kids were. See, that's where July 26, 25, an investigator from 18. I told that couple never to say a word to her again in her life. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. Oh, just like the FBI said, the police said. Oh, and then they went to Dr. Greg Haben on Frank Road. He told them he was a pediatrician from 1984 to 2002, 18 years, seeing the kids several times a year. There was never any sign of any abuse. No neglect, and very well taken care of. That's medical proof. Nobody was ever abused. You can't just roofie somebody. Like they said, those church people need to realize that. How dumb they look. Okay, just like they photoshopped that shower scene in the other. March 1st to 3rd of 21, they put two clips together. Put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. And later on, what you're describing is showering. Ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22. No, May 26th, 22 at noon. July 24th, 25. It wasn't even me. They did a body ratio. They did showering and some other lady in the shower. The shower scene in the other room. To make you look weird. They told a client's neighbor in Navarre, what was it? February, March of 22, that Pete ordered everything drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me. December 9th, 21, 4 p.m., they told Ed at the Oakland apartment that all the tapes before were them and not me, and just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. There was just repeatedly, Officer Mark said his document I verified she was framed before, and it was a drug cartel in her home before we seen him. August of 23. It's a drug cartel stuff. Just like Danny and Jen, I Christmas Eve of 22. They didn't know anything about buying cameras. They knew I had bruises throwing up and almost passing out. They didn't know people were drugging me up and telling me to say stuff and having me being raped. They weren't part of it either. And they didn't know about no shower scene. Get it? And they won't have anything to do with it. And neither was Josh. He knew nothing either. My children were not part of my ex-husband and his call hiring a guy trying to pull a scam March 24th, 25. Or actually April 24th, 25, Summit Mall. Tell that guy Will that's to pull off a scam here to join us. That the doctor, that it's all ruined because Michelle told on him that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. And she doesn't know who he is. And the whole thing is ruined. Tell him we said take care of her. The Muslims up in Summit Mall. For we have to take care of her. We have the right. We got to do this. And where they said, we are the men that work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. He sent his men to take care of this. He's U.S. military Iraqi translator, went into the dark web, malware, fentanyl king. He's a rogue king from Texas. He's a Muslim. Swear the lady in hijabs, the Middle Eastern man. He's a human trafficker. And the Iraqi group that calls herself We This, We That, is ISIS. Off branch of Al-Qaeda that took down our towers. And like they said, the guy doing this is trying to prove the U.S. government and its people are so dumb they'll fall for anything. Now I want you to think about this. I'm going to upload this. But the great retard yesterday, oh, great retard. Oh, great retard. That was spewing shit out of his mouth as he opened it. Oh, great retard. Saying you knew there was nothing wrong with me. Well, I got proof there was. And you're the greatest retard of all. See, you need to get your facts straight before you open your damn mouth. You know the never assume something, because you make an ass out of you and me. You make a fool out of everyone. You know how you made a fool out of? You made a fucking idiot. And then that family that was telling everybody that, it offended them when Strange called me a faker, that they lied about everything. And everybody was lying when they walked in that FBI office. March 27th, 25, told an FBI agent. March 20th, 26, Walmart, West Husk. An investigator, how an FBI agent got it out of that family. That everybody was lying that walked into that FBI office. And it never offended them at all, and they made everything up. Oh.